Hey guys, so still have all my all my Patoti from yesterday. So I'm not sure what happened that caused those two to die. My best guess is it was a fight, which is just out of character. These guys are fighting right now over that female, but they don't really get into knockdown, drag out fights. They kind of chase. Looks like I got two pairs trying to spawn. There's a bunch of guys over here trying to spawn right now. But I don't really have big fights, so it's just out of character for them to have fought so hard that two were killed. I just can't get my head around that. But you know, maybe that's what happened. It's the only explanation, because otherwise everybody's looking really good. They're spawning. There was just a pair wrapping, but when I turned the camera on to get a good view of everybody and make sure nobody else had died, they got disrupted. So I might take a pair out into a 5 or 10 gallon and let them spawn, and then put the pair back in here. I've already picked out one pair that I'm keeping. The rest of these will be going for shows. And depending on how many pairs I can make, maybe I'll have a couple left over to sell online. It just depends. I'm really hoping that the two that died were not females, because I don't have a lot of females. So we'll see. I love watching these plecos. So that's an update on them. I'll continue to watch them and monitor the water and make sure that there's nothing going on, but my best guess is they got into a fight. It's just so out of character for them, but you know, these things happen. So the rest of the day is gonna be spent kind of reorganizing this rack. I have the 3-week-old fry in the little tanks that need to be put into either a 5 or a 10 gallon. I'm taking my small group of mollies to the local fish store and turning them in. I tried to give them away locally. Nobody wanted them, so I'm just going to turn them into the fish store and get a little bit of credit. And then that tank, I'm going to take all the mystery snails out as well, and I'm going to turn that into a rubra tank, most likely. At least that's what I'm thinking on right now. I could change my mind. We'll just see how the day goes. I got to clean out that old quarantine tank of Cheekies and get that bleached out and ready for something. And then I'm probably gonna take either the platies and the snails that are in that far left 10 gallon, or the guppies that are in the second tank from the right, and put them in my big 26 gallon bow front upstairs, and then move Mama Patoti that lives in there into the 55 with her kids, because she's just, you know, she's all alone in that tank, and I kind of feel bad, but she'll eat the guppies if I put her in there with the guppies, so I have to move her somewhere and then make better use of that tank, and that'll open up that 10 gallon. Gonna clean out some 5 gallons, set up some spawns, so got a lot to do this weekend. Update on Cheekies. She's looking good. If I can move this stuff out of the way. Haven't seen any more lice. I don't think she had, I mentioned the other day, I thought maybe she was getting a bit of a fungal infection. I don't think that's what it was. So she's looking pretty healthy, but she does have these like white spots, and my friend Meredith commented on one of my videos about this. She has these white spots on her cheeks, just under her eyes. And she mentioned that might be breeding stars, which is something that male goldfish have, but I already know that she's definitely a female. You can see she's got them on that side too. I already know she's definitely a female because she's dropped eggs at least twice that I've noticed. 3 times if you count the fact that she dropped eggs while I was handling her and picking the lice off. I guess I kind of squeezed them out a little bit. So I'm not sure what those are. I don't think it's ick, because it's not all over, it's just right there, and they kind of come and go. So if you have any idea what those might be, you know, let me know in the comments. I'm probably gonna hit her with another round of General Cure and Ick-X, and maybe erythromycin too. Just do like a trifecta, just to make sure that she's completely clean and that's not any kind of illness. So, but for today, I'm just going to do a big water change, 50, maybe even 75%, and put some salt in there. She's looking good. She's hungry. I haven't fed anybody yet today. So, alright, I'm going to get to work. I picked up this little guy at PetSmart because I have this nice female that I also picked up at PetSmart that I wanted to spawn. She's pretty nice for a crowntail female. Good crowntails are hard to find unless you import them. And I just want to do an experimental spawn, if you will, and see how they're raised in my water. A lot of the time you don't see a lot of people in the US breeding crowntails is because, oh look, he likes her. The reason you don't see them breeding a lot of crowntails is because it's hard to keep their rays, the spikes on their fins, nice and straight in our water for whatever reason. So I've never raised them before, so I'm going to give it a try. His form is okay. It's not great, but it's not horrible. So we're going to spawn these guys, give it a try, and see what happens. If the rays curl, I'll probably have a bunch of pet fish available. If they stay straight, I'll send them to shows. Oh, he likes this blue girl. But I'm going to get him into a beanie, get started on water changes, and I'll see if there's anything else I'm going to get on video today. So I got these big 1-gallon jars for my giants because even though I do water changes every day, I kind of felt bad that they were in smaller jars. They weren't in these jars, but they were in the ones just on the side, which are fatter but shorter, and they're about the same amount of ounces, like 70 something. I don't know. I can't remember. At any rate, I felt bad for keeping these 2 big guys in there. So I went to Walmart and got these jars, but the problem is they're so tall and my shelving are so short. I was having a hard time like getting food into here, especially when I'm feeding with something with a pipette like frozen bloodworms. So I had the awesome idea to finally use, I have like 100 of these little funnels. I used to be a preschool teacher, and we got these for some kind of project, and there was tons left over, and I'm like, I think I can use these for fish. I don't know how, but I think I can use them. So I've just had them sitting in a drawer somewhere for like 3 years now. Finally, I figured out how I'm going to use them. So I made a little hole at the top, and then I put the funnel in there, and now I'll be able to feed stuff like bloodworms and stuff and pellets really easily without having to pull the jar off and take the top off. Because even if I just put a hole in the top of this jar, it would be really hard to get pellets in there or anything. So I don't know, I thought that was nifty and kind of funny. You never know when you're gonna need something, and finally after a couple years I needed a tiny funnel. So Alright, I think that's going to be it for today. I was going to, like I said, do a lot of tank maintenance and stuff, but I ended up getting sidetracked with cooking dinner, and I ended up baking a cake, and general things that happen when you have attention deficit disorder. Your mind just kind of wanders off. So I did do my jars, and I'm going to finish the other side, and I can show you. Oops, let me unplug the phone. I jarred 2 baby giants, and these are from that pair I just showed you in the big jars. This guy has swim bladder disorder. You can see he's sinky. He can't keep his tail end up, but boy is he pretty. And then the other one's down here. Now he has a little bit of a tail issue, but he can swim better than the other one can. He's just pretty stressed out right now. These guys were living with my mollies, and I just decided that I was going to go ahead and jar them because they were getting really nippy. They're both males, so it was time for them to be separated. I don't think they're going to get giant sized. I didn't do a good job taking care of them. First I thought the spawn had died, and then I found a few fry later, but I just really haven't done a lot with them. So they're not as big as they could be, but they are still pretty big for for having not been like fed a whole ton and lots of water changes. He's a cute little guy, because they're 2 weeks younger than these shoplicots, and they're just as big, if not bigger. So definitely got some giant genes working in there. I'm hoping this guy will improve. I don't know. I know that this guy was doing the same thing, and he's gotten a lot better. You can almost not even tell that he has swim bladder problems. So hoping that this guy will improve. If he can get to the point that that other male is, I'll keep him. If not, I might give him away as a pet locally, or to someone in my family. I always have family members that want fish. It just depends. When they have trouble getting around like this, you have to also think about their quality of life. He'd have to be kept in a small jar so that he can get to the top easily and all that. So it's always something to consider. But for right now, I'm going to keep him. I'm going to grow him out. I'm probably going to move him to a bigger jar eventually, because he's, you know, if he continues to grow, he's going to get way too big for these jars. So we'll see. This guy's, you can see this guy has a lot easier time flaring, getting around. So we'll see how they turn out, but those are kids from those 2. I'm hoping to spawn them one more time, kind of a do-over, since I did not do a good job with their last spawn. But they haven't wanted to spawn for me for a while, so we'll see. But that's all for today. Everybody's kind of chilling out at the top. I just changed their water, so they're just sitting there a little bit shocked. So, but that's all for today. I'll check back in with you guys tomorrow, and we'll probably do some tank switching around then.